Hello, welcome to Art with Kendra. In this video, we're going to be doing these tiny mini paintings. You can see how big they are compared to my finger. Maybe they're about an inch square, I would guess. And we're going to be doing a flower scene. Now, with something this small, you really can't add that much detail. So the key is to omit detail and just include the really important elements. In lieu of doing a really complicated background, I'm going to paint two things at the same time. I'm going to do just a little dab of paint here and there. I'm going to smush them together and I'm going to see what happens. And then I'm going to paint my flowers on top of that. Now I'm going to be using probably a little bit of yellow here. I don't want it to be too dark. This green is incredibly dark, so I'm going to just brighten it up a little bit with some yellow. I do want to incorporate a bit of blue as well, so I'll add a smidgen of blue. Maybe I'll use a nice light blue here if I can find one. Here's a nice light blue. Might even do 4 paintings. I have so much paint here. When you're doing small artwork, a little goes a long way. And you're going to see what I mean here in just a second. I might even throw just a bit of white in there. I'm just going to go ahead and do it on this one here. There we go. So I'm going to throw in a few more little backgrounds as well, because this is far too much paint for what I want to do. So maybe I'll do 4 here. So what I'm going to do is just kind of smush these together, and I'll do it a few times, because right now when I come back from it, it's going to be, you know, the colors are going to be really aggressive. But if I kind of go like this, they'll start to blend and create really interesting backgrounds. So I'm just going to do this a few times. There we go. Now you can see that's starting to already look quite beautiful, even without the painting on top. So now I have 2 backgrounds I'm really enjoying. Way too much paint. So I'm going to go ahead, push them down onto these, give them a little rub. Now I want to make sure that the paint gets to all 4 corners. So I really do need to press them together. I don't have an underpainting on these. An underpainting is a layer of paint that provides like a nice kind of base for everything, and I just went straight in here. Again, these are so small that I thought I would just dive in. So let's see if this is good. So I've got hopefully a nice spread of paint. Yep, that, oh, we have a little bit here that doesn't have coverage. I think I'm just going to incorporate a little bit of my yellow from my palette here, and I'll just give that one more squeeze. Really like that I've accidentally, like when you look at stuff like this, some beautiful things happen. So I've almost accidentally created a landscape already, haven't I? So I'm going to put these here. They're ready for paint. Now let's see how this one did. Almost full coverage. This one has just a little too much white for my liking. So I think I will add just a hint more green here. I'm going to have to be really careful. I might even just use my finger. My hands are so dirty already. I'm going to do a little bit more. This one's going to be much darker. And now that I'm looking at this one, I'm actually seeing one empty space there. So I am just going to see if I can scrape the paint off of that and do one more little round. Here we go. I want to make sure I have absolute coverage. An underpainting might have saved me some time here, but that's okay. Beautiful. So now I have really interesting backgrounds for my flowers. I'm just going to wash my hands and I'll be right back. All right, my hands are clean-ish. I feel like when you do painting, your hands are never really clean. So now I'm going to start to add my flowers, and I'm just going to focus on maybe one of these. Let's move these ones out of the way so we don't get them. Actually, I'm going to focus on one of these. These ones I think turned out just a little bit better. So let's first look at this and see what we've accidentally created here. So we definitely have a little bit of white here. I could almost imagine this being a flower. So I might go in and make a nice big flower in the corner and then add just a few flowers throughout here. So I'm going to use the smallest brush I have, and this might actually be too small for that flower. So I'm going to move in. This is about a 0. I'm going to use a 0 here, and I'm going to pick up a little bit of white paint, and I'm going to start to apply it my petals. You kind of have to fasten your work down. So I'm going to push, pull, and lift. And all of my petals are going to be this push, pull, lift kind of a thing here. So I'm leaning into this white. I know it's hard to see, isn't it? Try not. There we go. Push, pull, lift. That one got a little bit too blended. My paint is still wet. This is on purpose. Push, pull, lift. Push, pull, lift. All right. I'm just going to elaborate on this one just a little bit. There we go. I think I might have to add another layer to these petals. You know, I'm going to blend them actually just a little bit. Get a little bit of that green in there. And then I think I'll be able to add some highlight petals. There we go. So I'm just taking a little bit of that paint out. So that's going to be one of my flowers there. Now I'm going to go up here and add some really tiny ones. I'll try it with this brush. And I'm going to go inside this time. I'm going to push, pull, and lift to the center. There we go. Nice thick paint. These ones I'm only going to do one layer on. The other one I think I'll do 2 layers on. So push, pull, lift. So I'm lifting towards center. And that's going to give me kind of a petal without having to try too hard. Right? Just kind of use the brush to give me those petals. Push, pull, lift. There we go. There's a flower there. Now I'm going to go up here. Push, pull, lift. Push, pull, lift. Push, pull, lift. I know I sound like a broken record, but even when I'm painting these without making a video, I actually go through the process. I say this out loud. I teach a lot of classes on a platform called Outschool and also privately, so I'm always kind of giving instruction, and I think it's become just part of the way I paint now. When I'm painting, I think like, how would I explain this to somebody? And then I go ahead and do that. So now I have a couple of nice flowers there. I might add just a nice one back here. Maybe this one's not quite open. So I'll just add like half petals here. And I don't really want to have to add in, there we go, a little half open one. I don't want to have to add in too much in terms of stems and stuff, but I might add just a little bit here because there is quite a bit of detail in these flowers. Now this flower I'm going to let's see here. I think I'll add in some petals here. All right, so I'm going to add in some center petals. Push, pull, lift. Push, pull, lift. These ones are going to be nice and thick, lots of paint, because I want them to sit on top of those other petals. There we go. So now that flower feels a little bit more finished down there. I might add one more here. Just right here, I'm going to go push, pull, lift. And, you know, one more. This is a very full flower, like a daisy maybe. Nice thick paint there. All right. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull a little bit of yellow, and I'm going to give them a center. Now my paint is very thick again because everything's wet. So when you have wet paint, sometimes it's hard to drop paint on top of existing wet paint because everything kind of blends. So I'm just really going thick here. It's also going to give this a nice texture. Now, yeah, let's add a stem, sure. So I kind of have a little bit of green here. I'm switching to this brush. I'm going to add some yellow and see if I can mix a green. I don't want it to be too, I don't know, too potent. Mix it with a bit of white here. I'm just trying to mute it. There we go. All right, we'll add just a few teeny weeny little stems here. And like they're just going to be the hint of a stem. I don't want them to be aggressive. Again, I'm just kind of implying stems here. We already have kind of an abstract background, so I don't want to. And I am going to actually add a leaf. I'm doing the exact opposite of what I said I was going to do. There's a nice little leaf there. I might add a second leaf right here. There's a little bit of space in there. There we go. And you know, I actually really like those leaves. I'm tempted to add one here as well. Push, pull, lift, just a hint of a leaf. And add a little bit of darkness to this leaf. Blend that in there. There we go. Maybe just a little bit of darkness to the stem. Look at me getting so picky after I said I wouldn't. I always do that. There we go. All right, so there's our first flower painting. Now, the rest of them are still wet, which is good because then you can get a little bit of a blend. So I'm going to clean all my brushes and start again here. I'll just fast forward through the video because I don't want it to be too long. All right, here we have it. We have 4 little teeny weeny dollhouse sized paintings here. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this little mini tutorial. These will be available actually at just a mini little art gallery, just a little kind of outside gallery on my neighborhood. I'm just going to go donate them today. So if you're curious about that, maybe I can include the info in the link, in the comments. And if you're curious about art classes, leave me a message. I can send you my Outschool profile link, or you can do one-on-one classes with me privately as well. I teach all sorts of stuff. This is just the tip of the iceberg. All right, everyone. Thank you. Have fun painting. Bye.